Hey all, welcome to the Clock Tower. I'm Colton, here with Brandon. 5 cards, 5 minutes for DanMachi, rares and double rares. Brandon, what's our first card?
First up, we have Exploring the Dungeon Lili. On play, your opponent declares 0, 1, 2, or 3. You mill the top card of your deck, and if the card equals what the number they said for the level, you get to draw that many cards plus 1. And then at the beginning of your opponent's draw phase, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a level 1, you bounce this card back to your hand. So it's a coin flip that can potentially add additional cards to your hand, and you can play that potentially multiple times throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, a potential repeatable double plus is always good. Pretty easy to get a plus off of this one way or the other. You're going to hit something off of this more often than not. So pretty consistent plussing stuff at 0, a way to keep your hand full going into your level 1 game. And of course, that level 1 combo is First Adventure Bell. On salvage, when it attacks, this card gains X until end of turn, X equal to the number of Firebolt events in your waiting room. Combo with salvage. On attack, if you have another character, choose one of the Hestia knives in your waiting room or your deck and put it into your hand. Hestia knife is a top 4 check event in blue. This is the main DanMachi package. This is the thing that DanMachi does. This gets up to ridiculous power numbers, frankly. If you have all the pieces together and you use another event that we'll talk about next week, you can pump this up into the 15,000 power range. So you have a free level 1 on a combo that can get rid of almost any standby target.
Yeah, and what's notable is that the power that this card gets on attack is not attached to the Climax combo. The Climax combo does help to continually rebuild that hand, so you'll likely see this being played over and over again with that Climax. Next up, we have Human Activity Hestia. This is the brainstormer for the set that everybody wants to run, partly because of the first ability here, that whenever you play an event, hand filter on top of playing an event, like the Hestia knife, and it can activate once on either your turn or your opponent's turn. So when you play the Hestia knife as a counter, you can also potentially draw one, ditch one, and then on your turn when you play it, you can draw one, ditch one again. So just a continual hand filter, potentially getting the cards you need into hand, and is then also a search brainstormer.
So yeah, here we have another brainstormer with a synergistic second effect, makes your events better, and it's also a brainstormer so that when you're compressed, you can plus. Next, Proof of Trust Hestia. This is the level 3 Climax combo. It gets 1,000 for each other character in your backstage. On play, you can ditch one to heal to stock. On attack, if Pants is in your Climax area, you can choose a character. That character gets +1 soul and cancel burn 2. This is decent. It's going to guarantee some damage in most lanes. This doesn't work as well into super compressed stuff, because even if you get your cancel burns, you're swinging for 4 in every lane. So, those are going to cancel, and your burns, even if they do stick, aren't going to be enough to close from 3-0. So this is a little hit or miss. It's not fantastic, but it's the best level 3 top end that DanMachi has. And it's good enough to justify playing a very powerful level 1 package into it.
Part of that is because of how cheap it really is, right? If being a stock healer, it can potentially refund stock, so you only really need about 4 stock going into the turn to be able to tri-lane this, and then this is really just kind of that closing turn combo, right? Because it can pump up all of this into a single lane even. So if you then are swinging just 3-3 in the 2 lanes, and then you pump up the other lane for 6, which probably cancels, and then burn 2 3 times. The last card we're looking at today is the Advisor of the Labyrinth Exploration, Eina. This is our back row assist. It gives level 3s an additional 2k power. But what's really interesting with this card is you can rest it. As long as there's an event in your waiting room, you can choose one of your opponent's characters, and then that character gets the ability that you can't play backups or events from hand during that card's battle. So you are able to effectively deny additional defense in a certain lane.
This allows you to clear lanes in standby matchups without fear of being backed up. It also helps protect your top end from money counter, which is something that really messes with cancel burn top ends. So you can protect against money counter and or tap counter. It also stops your opponent from playing Hestia knife on their turn in the mirror. And that's it. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back on Tuesday with Weiss 102. More 5 cards, 5 minutes next week. A clock talk the following Tuesday. And in 2 weeks, we will have, I think, even more 5 cards, 5 minutes. A lot of sets coming out, so we're trying to get these out as quickly as possible. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one.
We'll see you then.